All right. So, as we all know, it is December 16th. Apparently, I didn't know that. And so it's mid-December. Christmas is 9 days away. Like I've been telling you guys all month and last month, this is the final stretch of the really, really hard time for coaching. Seriously, if you guys have been keeping up with your posts, if you've been staying consistent, if you've been sharing what you're doing and how you are getting through the holidays in the best possible way that you can, in a healthy way, then people are going to start coming to you when they realize that they need to clean up their acts for the new year. So continue doing what you're doing because it will pay off, but don't stop doing just because you're getting frustrated, because everybody is frustrated at this point. It's just the name of the game this time of the month, this time of this specific month. And I promise you guys, it will get better in January. Just stay strong and stay positive. So just to go over a few things that are happening, this month we are not doing the What is Coaching event or webinar. Instead, we are doing a live online workshop. Jill and myself are doing it tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And it's all about 7 steps towards having a healthy, happy, and kick-ass 2016. So it's basically it's a how-to on how to figure out what your goals are for 2016 and how to execute a game plan about how you're going to actually accomplish those. So how I'm incorporating that into helping us, and that's why I want you guys to invite people to it, is not only are we going to give a ton of value that's completely relevant to this time of year, but at the end, we're going to talk about how we can help whoever is on the call accomplish those goals. Because the main goals that people set for New Year's resolutions have to do with weight loss or health. It has to do with self-development. It has to do with finances or, relationships. I can't really do anything about relationships, but we can help with health and we can help with finances. Health, as in we can help because we run support groups that help you to find the support that you need to reach your goals. And if you have a goal for finance, we help you start your own online coaching business. So that is how I'm going to take this month's webinar, because I feel like it will be a lot better than just telling people, hey, this is what coaching is, this is what coaching does for me, this is what coaching can do for you. It's just something different, and it's something that can give a lot of value to people's lives right now. So make sure you guys are inviting to that. Once again, it's at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. And as long as they sign up for the event, it's through Webinar Jam, so nobody will see them. They're just going to see me and Jill. And they will get a replay. And it's also, they're going to get a PDF, like a fillable PDF that we are going to do right along with them. So, we're going to stop and we're going to have them fill out stuff and just talk along with it. So it is literally an online live workshop. So invite people. You guys can start inviting to see how I'm doing it. Is I'm in invite mode for the webinar right now, and then once the webinar passes, one more thing about the webinar is we are doing a $25 gift card giveaway to anyone who signs up by Sunday night, and that's with coaching or a challenge pack. So once I finish with the webinar, that's when I'm going to start inviting to the 30-day challenge group that starts on January 4th, and that is going to be called Get Your Goals On. So it's going to be in complete relation to, the $25 gift card is going to be like a raffle. So it's not going to go to every single person. It's just going to go to one person. But yeah, Get Your Goals On is going to be totally relatable to the webinar, and it's going to be completely, everybody sets New Year's resolutions, so that's a perfect thing to start the year right. It's the first Monday of January, and we can do it. I think, depending on how many coaches we have sign up, we may start a new coach boot camp the Monday after Christmas. But if we don't have a ton of people sign up, I can do an email series with the new coaches, or I'm doing it for Mariah right now. Or if you guys have a coach that signs up, it will actually be better for you if you do the email series yourself. And I can send you all of the emails to actually send your coach. But if it's coming from you, that stands you out as their leader, and that's what you want. All right, so I think that's pretty much all I have to go over for that stuff. So let's jump into breadcrumbing. Now, I want you guys to tell me, type down below what you think breadcrumbing is. Now, do it. Yeah. Well, I already got you covered then, Heather. You don't have to write like long things, just a little snippet. Okay, so Mariah says sending little messages that people may not notice but are planting the idea of coaching or getting in shape. Shelby says giving bits and pieces of your story or an event. Stacy says giving a little info at a time to get a bigger message. Lisa says sharing different parts of your story. All right, you guys are hitting the nail right on the head. There you go. Breadcrumbing is sharing small pieces of your story to keep people engaged, interested, and wanting to know more, which means they keep coming back for more. As coaches, we need to tell our story. Our story is what sets us apart from everybody else. And as we know, we are not Beachbody. We represent ourselves, and we just connect them to those products. But anybody can go on beachbody.com and buy a program. It is us that separates ourselves from somebody else and something else. So that is why it's so important to tell your story. It shows your real vulnerable self. It makes you relatable. It builds your self-confidence, and it grows your business because you are actually sharing all about you, and you are making people relate to who you are as a person and what you have to offer. So I want you guys to really think about this. What is your story? What is your Beachbody story? You really want to think about your financial story. You want to think about your physical story, and you want to think about your emotional story. Have you struggled with self-confidence? Have you ever had a physical transformation? Have you struggled with debt? Who hasn't struggled with debt? How have your trials become your triumphs? Your struggle can turn into your story. Your adversity is your advantage, and your mess is your message. This stuff is like straight out of Summit, guys. This is gold. So, really think about what those things are and like how you can relate to those. What is your actual story? If you guys didn't get those, definitely watch the replay and write those down and think about those in depth, because your story is so important. Every time you post, I want you guys to ask yourself, is this going to inspire somebody? Will this post make a difference in somebody's life? And are you being real? Because really, people can see through it when you are not being your true, genuine self. So what do you do when you actually have crafted your story together? You tell it. You practice telling it. You tell it over and over and over again. But the thing is, you don't want to just tell your entire story. You don't want to blurt it all out the same exact way every single time you make a post. But you still do want to share it. You want to get feedback from a success partner if you guys don't have one of those. You can share your story on team calls. We can have a team call where you guys can all share parts of your story, and we can listen, and we can give you feedback on how you can make your story into a better version. I mean, like, still have it be your story, but just help you be able to tell it better and more effectively. You want to share your story on social media. This should be a no-brainer. This is how we grow our businesses. The majority of coaches do not grow their businesses in person, although there are some, but more so on social media. And social media is flooded with coaches telling their stories. That's why you don't want to be the same person as everybody else. You want to be you. I don't even know how to say that, like you. You want to be you. So how do you share your story? You have to perfect the art of storytelling, which is basically telling your story in chapters, which is what breadcrumbing is. You start with a simple script. So it's like, when I did this, how I felt, what. You want to get comfortable with one aspect of your story and share that. So, if you're making a post about how you feel when you look in a mirror now, you can talk about how you used to feel when you looked in a mirror in the past, and spark up that emotional story within you, because that's what people are going to feel, and that's what's going to connect them to their own story. That one post that you make can actually spark something inside of one person that's been seeing your posts over and over and over again. But that one specific post, when you are sharing your story, that you like, that story, that part of your story connects with them, that can be the spark that lights their fire. You want to develop several short stories to share with different audiences. Not every part of your story is going to resonate with every single person. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own story. And just take it from, think about my story. You guys can relate to, you might be able to relate to being in debt. Or, okay, so let me say this. Heather might be able to relate to my story by, being a huge partier from when we were younger. Mariah would be able, sorry, Heather. Mariah might be able to relate to my story because she was an Army wife as well. Lisa might be able to relate to my story because of my complete lack of self-confidence when I was younger. Shelby might be able to relate to my story because, I never used to put myself first, and I always used to put everybody else first, and then I realized that I needed that self and personal development every single day. And Stacey, I don't really know how you relate to my story. That's why I'm saying. But seriously, but everything that I just said, Lisa's not going to relate to my story about being an Army wife. It's every part of your story is not going to relate to every single person. That's why you want to share the different aspects of your story with different people and on different forms of social media. You want to have a clear beginning, ending, and segue back to your point. So when you're posting, you're not just telling your story there it is. It's out there. You want to actually have a point to it. If I'm talking about how when I was younger and I had absolutely no self-confidence and, I was so body conscious when I was younger because my dad and my grandpa unknowingly just would say these comments and just made me really feel very self-conscious about what I was eating. It gave me eating issues, how I had rolls, and it made me super, super self-conscious. So I used to wear these I don't know if you guys know what they are, the wire things that make you almost look like you're sucked in, except it just made me look like I didn't have rolls. And I used to stand in front of the mirror and just, yeah, corset, thank you. I used to just stand in front of the mirror and like criticize myself. And I just felt horrible. And I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I hated, like, I didn't have any self-confidence because of all of those things. And now I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I could do a little bit better. But at the same time, like, I've come such a long way. Like, I don't look like I had 2 kids. Like, damn, and that's something that every mom should feel. That's something that every woman should feel, that no matter how they felt when they were younger, when they looked in the mirror, they should be able to look at themselves now and say, I love you. Like, you are awesome. Talking about themselves, obviously. But, you want to hit on those emotional points, that's something that really, really is important to me. And that can be a segue into sharing how I can help somebody else gain that self-confidence back by helping them get on the right foot. Do you guys kind of understand what I'm saying? So basically, in order to share your story, you need to have an audience. You need to engage your audience. So you need to have a community. And that's why you want to be sharing your story often on social media, and you want to share different parts of it. You guys should be posting every single day. You don't have to have like this huge revelation every single day, but you do want to not disappear, because you might not realize it, but people are watching, and those people that are watching will notice when you're not there anymore. You want to get comfortable sharing your story often, but don't share it too often. Like I said, you don't have to have a revelation every single day. You don't want to be a broken record. You don't have to strive to be perfect. This is something that really resonated with me when I heard it, because I always felt like I had to be like really positive all the time, and really just like upbeat and happy. And really, I swear a lot. I get pissed off. I'm like, I want to strangle this person through my computer right now because they're pissing me off. They just need to do this. And, I felt like I was just being this positive robot. And I came out and I was like, listen, guys, this is not how I am. And that's actually done wonders for me. Like, people know that I'm really no bullshit now, because like I can't stand excuses. I just want to slap people. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to portray yourself as being perfect if you're not perfect, and nobody is perfect. It's okay to share about your success, but don't forget about sharing about like the part that got you there. Not everybody just starts off being successful. And if you talk about only your success and not your story getting there, people aren't going to like think that that's possible for them. Less is more. You don't want to overshare, like I've talked about already. You want to be transparent. You want to share how you're learning from your current struggles. That's why I said your struggles right now, you want to be sharing about those, how you're overcoming those. And last but not least, you want to tie your story back into how Beachbody has played a part in helping you better your life. So you want to make sure that you have crafted your story properly. You want to make sure that you are sharing your story properly, and you don't need to like just throw your story out there all at once, this whole jumbled mess of your story, because your story is not just one thing, and it's not 10 different things thrown into a paragraph. It's too much, and really those things aren't going to all relate to each other. So it just looks like you're like word vomiting on your posts. You don't want to do that. Don't do it. Really craft your posts and think about them before you actually post them, because you don't need to share everything all at once. That's why it's breadcrumbing. Okay. So that is enough of me preaching to you guys. I'm going to hand it over to Heather now.
Hey. So I'm trying to think about where to start from that. So, okay, since we were talking about like Summit and stuff like that, so a lot of the stuff that I never really thought about breadcrumbing, until I went to Summit, which is why we always say that it's so important to get to events, because you never know, like, when those events or when hearing somebody else speak, especially from other teams, is going to hit you and like really speak to you and make you think about things. So my story before Summit was just basically like, I got out of the Navy and then I was sad because I gained weight. Like that was all I was ever talking about. Like, I'm a veteran. I was sad because I gained weight. Then at Summit, this guy talks about like, you know, making, like, getting into your story and getting into this and like how we're changing people's lives. It was Miguel Carrasco. And I go back and on the plane ride, or it was a plane ride from Summit. I just sat there, like, my boyfriend was sleeping, and I wrote down my entire story, and it ended up being 4 pages. And like, I sent it to Angel, and I remember sending it, and it was like super cute. And I was like, I'm sorry that you have to read this, but like, there's so much in here that I didn't realize. And the thing is that you guys really like I saw Mariah's question too, that what if there isn't a lot of change in your story yet? If you guys sit there and you think, you might not think that there is now, but like, even making the decision to change is a huge change, because there's a reason why you guys did it. And like, I know that I've talked to Stacy, we had that one talk the one time, and I kind of told you about opening up, but the second that I like included part of my story, other than like, I just wasn't comfortable with myself, or like I started getting more in detail, the first post I made, I had like 103 likes on it, as opposed to like 40. Like, I mean, 40 was still good for me, but like 40 going to 103 is like crazy. You know what I mean? So people are there. They really want to support you. So it's just like Angel said, you guys just want to make sure you're communicating it right and like putting it out there. And one of the things that I kind of feel like with breadcrumbing is that if you guys have seen or done any of the training about branding, they kind of go hand in hand. And like Angel was saying, like, you guys are going to have different parts of your story that are going to be different, relatable, like, to other people, and not every single one is going to be for every single person. So if you guys are like branding yourselves, the way that you kind of want to make those breadcrumbing posts is that you want to like take yourself back to before you were a coach. And you want to think about when your coach was talking to you and how you can communicate that to the people that you want to help. Because I don't know, it's kind of weird to like now we're all like, oh my God, I have to get my workout in, or oh my God, like, I can't believe I didn't drink my Shakeology. And like, that's what we think about all the time. But the people that we're talking to have no idea, like how we feel. And like, we always want to talk about it because we know how awesome it is. But the people that you're talking to literally have no idea. Like, they might have done Insanity and they're like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, I've done Insanity. That's awesome. But why do I need Shakeology if I've gotten results just from Insanity? So you guys need to be sharing that. Like, one of the things that I've seen a lot is people will be like talking about Shakeology or whatever, like, oh, I got my superfoods in today. Like, how do you get your health in? Like, that's how I get all my vitamins and minerals. But how do you guys get your health in? And like, what you guys want to do is you want to say why. Like, why is it more healthy than what you ate before you were drinking Shakeology? You guys want to be including that in parts of your story. So if you guys have, you know, like, I talked to somebody yesterday who has Hashimoto's, and so they couldn't lose weight. So all the things in Shakeology, like the billions of things from all these different places around the world that nobody's ever been exposed to, they're all in one thing. So rather than taking, 6 pills or whatever, this is helping them with their Hashimoto's by drinking this one shake, and it's being more effective because it's all working hand in hand. Like, there's science behind this stuff, and this is what's going to help you guys like incorporate your stories and stuff. So just think about, like I said, like, just think about what your actual stories are, and think about how you can include Beachbody in it, or how Beachbody had an influence on that. We were talking about I know that it's uncomfortable for you guys, and it's still uncomfortable for me to share my story sometimes, but one of the things that I think it was it Jamie Messina that was talking about scheduling uncomfortable time. Do you remember that? Yeah. So what you guys want to do is you guys, like, even if it doesn't have to be something even Beachbody related, but if you guys are like I hate talking in person, and I hate talking like to people, giving presentations, which is why I volunteered for the call like 3 weeks ago. And now this is my second one. And I literally I was nervous, but I don't even feel as bad anymore, like as scared about it. So like, if you guys are scared to talk to people or share your story, like Angel said, volunteer to do it to us, because we're obviously not going to judge you. Like, most of us know parts of your story anyways, but you have to schedule that time. You have to make that effort to be able to put yourself out there. that you'll be able to be comfortable with your customers and with people that you want to help. I also had from someone written down that it was a quote from Shalene. Confidence is a muscle that anybody can build. So if you guys are doing these things, and like I said, scheduling uncomfortable time, you guys are going to become more confident, and you guys are going to, be able to just, like, I make posts sometimes and I'm like writing my story in it and not even realizing it, just because I'm starting to get more comfortable with doing it and stuff like that. And you realize that while you're writing it, like, you might be sitting there and saying, like, my anxiety usually goes crazy this time of year, something like that, and then like put a little snippet in there about, like how you used to feel or how you used to get like overwhelmed and you would get sick, stuff like that. And somebody reading that at that exact moment might be able to relate to it. Whereas even though you posted about it 3 months ago, it might have been in the exact same way, but right now is when it's relevant to them. So that's why it's important to always share your story, because, like, things can happen in your life and you never really know, like, when it's going to happen. You can't predict it. So if you guys are constantly sharing your story, it's always going to pop up and somebody might just see it and it might just be the right time, even if it's just a talk, or even if it's just somebody that they need like advice or, something like that. It might not even be about a product, but you guys need to be relatable, and that's what breadcrumbing is going to do. And the other thing that stuck with me from Summit was that you guys always have to consider yourself as challengers, because you guys have to, yes, we're coaches, and yes, we're like in the routine of doing things, and like I said, we think about it all the time, but if you guys take yourself back to when you were challengers and you guys are always analyzing your why and reevaluating your whys, it's going to help you guys be better coaches. Shelby said, what's a good way to incorporate your story when there are some parts you want to share but your family on Facebook don't know about you and you're not sure if you're ready for them to know? So like for me, I just quit smoking. And Shelby's family didn't know that we told them that we quit smoking last Christmas, because we did, but we started again. So I don't really even share that stuff. I don't know like how detailed it goes and stuff like that. But for me, Angel, do you want to help with this one? Because I don't know.
Honestly, you have to really ask yourself, how ready are you to share that? And if you are ready, then just do it, because you're going to have to share it eventually. If, to keep growing as a person, you want to continue sharing your story and you want to continue stepping outside of your comfort zone. But I'm not saying that you have to right this second. An alternate thing that you could do is to put your family members that you don't want to know in a list on Facebook and just block them from those posts. So that is a way to share, but if there's people on Facebook that know members of your family, they could also get back to them. So it really it's something that you ultimately have to decide, like, am I ready to just put it out there, because you will grow as a person and it might actually make you feel better to just have it out. Or if you're not completely ready yet, you can just play it safe and block them from your posts with that.
I was going to say too, if you aren't sure if you're ready for them to know yet, and like you said, you don't want to, necessarily share right away. When you are ready, instead of like telling everybody, try like talking to your family first, especially if it's somebody like your family that you can see in person. If it's someone that's like that emotional or like that, like tied to you, and it like makes you kind of nervous. If you tell your family, that's like the scariest thing that you can do. Like if that's like your scariest thing, then that's going to be put all out there, and then you won't even have any big issues anymore with that. But it's also like Angel said, it's going to be hard. Like you have to do it when you're ready. And if you're not ready, don't like pressure yourself too much, because you don't want to like stress out about what you did either. The one other thing I was going to suggest was, as far as breadcrumbing goes, like I said, you guys try and use it for your branding and stuff like that, people you want to speak to. What I did, I haven't really fully incorporated everything that I wrote down yet, but I've been working on doing themed posts for each day, because people are like naturally creatures of habit. And so if you say that you're going to do like a Transformation Tuesday post and somebody's like ready to do it, but they're just not ready yet, they might go back to your page every Tuesday and look at all those transformations until they find something that really speaks to them. So if you guys like start doing theme posts and stuff like that too, it'll get people, you know, wanting to look at your page, and it'll attract more of the people that you're trying to reach out to. So like, for example, like I said, Transformation Tuesday, I was going to do, instead of doing Transformation Tuesday, just because everybody else does it, I was going to do like Tasty Tuesday and do my recipes that day, and do like Way to Go Wednesdays. So I can do like shout outs. So not just people that are doing fitness stuff, but, you know, somebody else that might be like positive that I know, like my friends or something. And then Thursdays, Angel has Time to Shine, which I really like. And a lot of people like to do the thankful post, because people usually only do like thankful posts around Thanksgiving or stuff like that. So you guys can come up with your own things that you guys like, that you value, that will speak to the people that you're trying to reach to. I think that's it.
I just wanted to add, when you are posting, you want to make sure that your posts, you want to sound like you are talking to one person. You want that person to feel like, holy shit, they are talking to me right now. And really, like with your posts, you want to make sure that you're creating opportunities to connect with people. You know, especially with your story posts, you want to make sure that you tell people like, hey, if you want help with this, if you want, you know, I can help you feel this way because I have learned how to do this. And, you know, tell people that they can reach out to you, because a lot of people don't know what a coach is. A lot of people don't know what we do. And they don't know that just because you've changed doesn't mean they don't automatically know that you can help them to do that too. And really, believe your story matters. Like, you guys are inspiring people every single day by posting, and it's very easy to get lost in not feeling like you are speaking to anybody. Like right now, there's just a lot of not likes and not comments, and people feel like they're just talking to space. But I guarantee you that people are seeing your post. You know, it's really surprising when I will just message somebody out of the blue and they'll tell me how they've been following my posts, or when I'll, you know, just random people that will comment on one of my posts and tell me about how I've been inspiring them to start exercising. And I had never even talked to these people before. You know, I get stuff like that, and I'm like, holy shit, who are you? Like, just because people aren't interacting with you, if they're not liking your stuff, if they're not commenting, if they're not messaging you, does not mean that people are not watching. And you are inspiring people, even if you don't know that you are. So your story matters. You guys do matter. So we have 4 minutes left. Do you guys have any questions? I know we covered a lot. You can type or you can unmute yourself. Can we do a story sharing? Yeah, definitely. Next week, we're not going to have a team call because of Christmas, but we can definitely schedule a story sharing team call in the near future. Lisa said, since I became consistent with posting, you get insane feedback. Is that what you said?
I said I get the same feedback. Like, I'll message people out of the blue and I'll get the same thing that you were talking about.
Where you didn't know that they were even...
Well, like, I messaged this one, like, friend of mine, and she's like, I do not have your motivation or something. You're so motivating or something like that. So.
Yeah, people are watching, seriously.
Yeah. And she doesn't comment on anything. I just, like, messaged her out of the blue, and I'm like, whoa. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of confused on how this thing works for tomorrow. Like, are we just telling people it's a webinar, or?
Yeah, it's
okay.
online it's a webinar, but it's also like it's an online workshop, because we're not only going to be talking, but
Okay.
people are going to actually get emailed a PDF an hour beforehand. They're going to print that out
Okay.
and fill it out as we go along.
So do we tell people like this is like a goal set in workshop, or do we just say that it's about coaching?
No, it's not just about coaching.
Okay.
It's about helping people to figure out what their goals are for 2016 and how to execute them. So what I called it was Regret to Survival, 7 Steps to Having a Healthy, Happy, and Kick-Ass 2016.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for getting on. I will get this posted as soon as possible. Have a good night.